You ever notice how your mind slips away from you without warning? Almost like someone reached inside your thoughts and pulled a thread. You open your phone for one quick moment, and 20 minutes disappear. You tell yourself you'll focus, and somehow the focus never arrives. And the strange part is, you're not lazy, you're not weak, you're not broken. Something else is shaping your attention, quietly, invisibly, very deliberately. Because the truth is, your brain isn't fighting your distractions. It's fighting an intelligence that studies your behavior with microscopic precision. And you feel it, don't you? That subtle pull, that quiet restlessness, that sudden urge to check something, do something, react to something. It feels internal, but it isn't. This is where the title becomes real, because 3 specific AI systems are already learning how you focus, how you lose focus, and how to rebuild the pathways you've slowly been losing. But before we talk about these tools, you need to understand the moment your mind gets hijacked. It usually starts so small. You sit down to work. You tell yourself you'll start in a second. You breathe in, and your mind whispers, "Check something first." It feels innocent, but it isn't. That whisper is an echo of thousands of cues you've repeated for years. Your brain's reward system craving stimulation, and AI has learned to anticipate that craving with scary accuracy. You think you pick up your phone randomly, but the truth is, your behavior is so predictable. AI systems can see the pattern before you see the urge. That's the world you're living in now. A world where your focus is not just limited, it's vulnerable. But here's the twist most people don't know. The same AI that tracks your distractions can also train your mind to resist them. The same AI that hijacks your attention can rewire your cognitive habits and rebuild your ability to concentrate like never before. And it starts with something you've never considered: your brain's relationship with structure. Human brains hate making structure. AI loves it. AI thrives on it. AI sees structure in chaos long before you recognize what's happening. This is why the first tool, Reclaim AI, feels almost supernatural when you use it. Imagine this. You sit there, overwhelmed, trying to figure out how to fit everything into your day. You know what you need to do, but knowing doesn't create movement. Thinking doesn't create action. Reclaim AI does something your brain hasn't been able to do consistently for years. It turns your focus into a rhythm. It looks at how you work, when your mind gets tired, when your motivation peaks, when you drift, and it schedules your life around your brain's biological patterns, not the other way around. It identifies your deep focus windows, those rare moments when your prefrontal cortex fires at full strength, and it protects them like a shield. That's when you realize something powerful. AI isn't just watching you. AI is studying you. And if you use it the right way, you can make it study the strongest version of you instead of the weakest. But let's step deeper, because your focus issues don't just come from poor structure. They come from something more primal. Your brain is addicted to micro-rewards, tiny bursts of dopamine from notifications, quick content, fast entertainment. Hits so small you don't even register them consciously. But your brain registers them. Your subconscious registers them. And AI certainly registers them. Which brings us to the second tool, Brain.fm. This one isn't about organization. It's about biology, raw neural patterns, the electrical rhythm inside your skull. Most people think music helps you focus. It doesn't. It just blocks noise. But Brain.fm AI-generated neural audio, sound engineered to literally shift your brain waves toward focus states. Not metaphorically, physically. It's built on something wild. Your brain responds to rhythm and frequency faster than it responds to thought. You can tell yourself focus, but if your neurons are firing in the wrong pattern, your mind won't listen. AI doesn't care about motivation. AI doesn't care about feelings. AI cares about patterns. So when Brain.fm analyzes millions of brain scans, studies neural responses to sound, and then generates audio that guides your brain into a narrower, deeper, more stable attention state, it's not entertainment. It's training. It's your brain learning how to focus again, the same way a muscle remembers strength after years of weakness. And once you experience it, you feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Silence inside your mind. Not emptiness, not numbness, but silence. The kind of silence where thinking becomes clean, where distractions lose their sharpness, where your mind stops vibrating like a phone left on a glass table. But even this isn't enough to build long-term focus. A focused brain without clarity is like a high-powered engine without a steering wheel. Which leads to the third tool, Notion AI. This one doesn't just help you organize tasks. It helps you organize thoughts. Most people think their distraction problem is about technology, but it's actually cognitive overload. Your mind tries to process too many things at once, too many open loops, too many decisions, too many "I'll remember it later" moments that stack like mental debt. Notion AI removes that debt. It acts like a second brain, one that never forgets, never loses track, never gets overwhelmed. And here's the part that shocks people. When your external world becomes structured, your internal world becomes quiet. Because clarity is not created inside your brain. Clarity is created outside it. This is where the AI versus human battle becomes obvious. Humans forget. AI remembers. Humans get overwhelmed. AI sorts without emotion. Humans lose track of patterns. AI absorbs them effortlessly. And when you combine these three systems, you start to notice something strange. Your brain stops fighting itself. Because AI isn't replacing your focus. It's restoring it. But let's go deeper. Because we haven't reached the psychological punch yet. Most people don't realize this. Your focus is not a skill. It's a state. A neurological condition your brain enters when three things align. Clarity, mood, environment. If one of those breaks, your focus collapses. Reclaim AI handles the environment. Brain.fm handles the mood. Notion AI handles the clarity. That's why this combination feels like a cheat code. Because it bypasses willpower, motivation, and discipline. The three things humans fail at most. But something darker is happening beneath the surface. AI has been studying how you lose focus for years. Every click, every pause, every scroll, every moment of hesitation. It's all been fed into machine learning systems designed to predict attention loss. And now, for the first time, you can use that same intelligence to rebuild your mental stamina. Imagine this for a moment. You wake up tomorrow, your day already built around your brain's strongest hours. No guessing, no pressure, no chaos. You sit down to work. You put on AI-generated neural audio. Your thoughts sharpen like turning a lens into focus. Then, every idea you have, every task, every plan, every thought that pops into your mind, instead of floating around and draining your mental energy, it gets captured, sorted, and structured by Notion AI. Your mind stops overheating. Your focus stops collapsing. Your attention becomes something you control, instead of something you chase. And something else happens, too. Something psychological, something identity level. You begin to feel like the kind of person who can manage their own mind again. Not because you forced it, not because you changed overnight, but because AI stopped working against you and finally started working for you. But here's where the story gets uncomfortable. While you strengthen your attention with these tools, the rest of the world keeps weakening theirs. People scroll faster, think slower, react more, focus less. Their minds get pulled apart by algorithms they don't understand. They become predictable, programmable, mentally fragile. But you're building a shield. You're training your cognitive muscles. You're learning how to think in a world where thinking is becoming rare. There's a moment, a strange moment, that happens when you start training your focus with AI. It doesn't happen on day one. It doesn't happen when you expect it. It arrives quietly, almost silently, like a thought that isn't yours. You sit down to work, brain.fm humming softly in the background, your breathing slowing down, your attention tightening like a beam of light, and then it hits you. You don't feel distracted. You don't feel pulled. You don't feel that constant buzzing urge to check something. It's like someone switched off a noise you didn't even know was playing. People think focus is about discipline, but discipline has nothing to do with it. Focus is what happens when interference disappears. You're not fighting distractions. You're fighting the invisible systems that pull your emotions in micro-movements. The micro-dopamine loops, the micro-signals AI learned to exploit long before you notice them. But now, for the first time, you're using smarter AI to reverse that pull, and the difference feels almost unreal. Reclaim AI shapes your day so your brain stops fighting time. Brain.fm shapes your neural state so your brain stops fighting itself. Notion AI shapes your thoughts so your brain stops drowning in unfinished loops. These three forces come together, and suddenly you realize something uncomfortable. You were never the problem. Your environment was. Your biology was. Your digital habits were. Your overstimulated dopamine cycle was. And now that those systems have been removed from the driver's seat, you start to see the real version of yourself, the version that was buried under noise for years. But let's pull the curtain back further, because the real transformation doesn't happen in your conscious mind. It happens in your subconscious. That's where focus is born. That's where impulses begin. That's where routines are formed. That's where attention is captured or reclaimed. Your subconscious is an ancient machine, running modern code, and it has no idea how to survive the digital world without direction. So when you start using AI tools consistently, something subtle begins to shift. Your subconscious starts trusting structure. It starts expecting clarity. It starts preparing for deep work before you begin. It starts learning the rhythm of focus again, like a muscle remembering strength. This is why people who train with these tools don't just become more focused. They become calmer, quieter, sharper, more mentally spacious. Their mind feels less crowded. Their thoughts feel less tangled. Their attention feels less fragile. And here's the twist. That shift isn't random. It's neurological. Every time you use AI to support your attention, your brain rewires the neural pathways connected to focus, memory, and emotional regulation. AI becomes a behavioral mirror, a guide, a pattern generator, a consistency builder, because your brain doesn't know if a behavior is powerful or weak. It just repeats whatever you show it. And you've spent years showing it distraction, micro scrolls, micro switches, micro dopamine spikes. Your brain adapted to survive chaos. But now, through these tools, consistency, depth, stability, attention, clarity, silence, and your brain adapts again. Neuroplasticity is not personal. It's mechanical. You train it and it responds. But let's go inside your mind for a moment. Imagine yourself in a deep focus session. You've been working for 20 minutes, maybe 30. Your attention feels steady. Your thoughts feel organized. And then it happens. The first distraction impulse. It appears like a flicker, a whisper, a nudge. Check something. Refresh something. Look at something. This is the exact moment your old self would collapse. This is when the scroll would begin. This is when your attention would splinter. But now you've trained differently. Your brain is anchored by sound, guided by structure, supported by clarity, and the impulse loses its strength. It slides off your mind like water off glass. This is the beginning of focus mastery, not the absence of distraction, but the inability of distraction to control you. And something interesting happens after that. You begin noticing your own thoughts. You begin catching micro habits before they activate. You begin observing your impulses instead of obeying them. This is what AI-assisted focus actually does. It slows down your internal world just enough for you to see the mechanics behind your behavior. You start seeing yourself thinking. You start hearing your internal dialogue. You start noticing the difference between intention and impulse. And the moment you notice that difference, you wake up from years of automatic thinking. But let's go deeper. Because focus isn't only about attention. It's about identity. You cannot train the mind to focus. If you still see yourself as someone who struggles to focus, identity always wins. Behavior follows identity, so you need a new identity, a new internal story, a new self-description. AI gives you that through repetition, through data, through patterns, through evidence of change. Every time you show up for deep work, every time you stay focused longer than before, every time your tasks get organized flawlessly, every time your thoughts get sorted instantly, your subconscious receives a message. I am someone who focuses. And the moment your identity shifts, focus stops being something you chase and becomes something you embody. Let's talk about the hidden transformation, the part you won't notice until weeks later. You start thinking slower, but deeper. You start responding later, but wiser. You start feeling less impatient, less restless, less emotionally reactive. Your mind becomes heavier, not in a tired way, but in a grounded way. Your attention feels like something with weight, not something that gets blown away by the smallest breeze. And here's the part nobody expects. When your focus becomes stronger, your dopamine sensitivity resets, your cravings change, your emotional threshold stabilizes, your mind becomes harder to manipulate. This is why attention is the ultimate superpower in the AI era. If AI understands your behavior better than you do, you become predictable, controllable, influenceable. But if you train your brain with AI, you flip the entire dynamic. You stop being predictable. You stop being programmable. You stop being the outcome of your impulses. You become the one pattern AI cannot easily map, and that makes you rare. But we're not done yet, because I need to show you the deeper layer, the identity shift that makes everything permanent. Picture yourself a month from now. You wake up and your day already feels structured. You don't panic. You don't rush. You don't feel behind. Your tasks are organized before you're even fully awake. Your deep focus windows are protected. Your attention feels like a blade instead of a sponge. You sit down to work. You put on your AI-generated focus audio, and your mind drops into a state that feels almost meditative. You think clearly. You feel mentally still. You move through tasks without friction. Eventually, you look around and realize something. You're not the same person you were a month ago. Your attention isn't fragmented anymore. Your mind isn't overstimulated anymore. Your thinking isn't chaotic anymore. You've built something most people will never feel in their entire adult lives. Cognitive control. Not the illusion of control, but real control. Deep control. Identity-level control. And when you get to this stage, a strange kind of confidence rises inside you. Quiet. Heavy. Grounded. You compare yourself to your old self, and the difference feels unreal. That's the power of using AI the right way. The way that rebuilds you, instead of draining you. But let's step into the final transformation, the part that defines the entire journey. This is where you realize something profound. AI isn't here to make you distracted. AI isn't here to make you weaker. AI isn't here to make you passive. AI amplifies whatever you show it. If you show it weakness, it learns to magnify your weaknesses. But if you show it strength, it learns to support your strength. AI becomes whatever you make it. A threat, or a tool, a distraction, or a trainer, a cage, or a catalyst. And the version you're choosing right now is the version that builds you. So here's the truth, the real truth, the one that matters more than anything else. Your mind is rewiring. Your focus is rebuilding. Your attention is upgrading. And when AI becomes the engine inside that transformation, your potential becomes something you can feel in your bones. Because you're not just learning how to focus, you're becoming someone who cannot be unfocused. That's the identity you're building now. The identity that says, my mind is not fragile, my attention is not for sale, my time is not negotiable, my focus is mine. And if this resonates, if you feel the shift, if you're ready to build a mind the algorithm cannot predict, stay close. You're just getting started.